Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Web Healing Show. This is a series I've been handling since 1 month from the beginning of the May, and I'll be ending it very soon. For a change, my team has scheduled it on the main page of my Facebook and say hi to a lot of viewers who might be watching this again. And you can watch the archives on YouTube because there are plenty of such videos on YouTube already. So, hoping to get a lot of feedback, a lot of involvement, and a lot of uh, mm, testimonials, and of course, a positive shift in each one's life. The idea came when a lot of my students started saying, "Can we do something about the current scenario?" And what I understand is there's a little that I can do as a doctor or maybe as a healer too. However, I can help you or I can inspire you to heal yourself. And when you heal yourself, you will be in a better space. Your immunity will certainly respond in a much better way. More than that, you'll be able to handle yourself and the situation that you are in. I understand the damages that could have happened to you in terms of loss of loved ones or challenges at uh, social level or financial challenges. It's a challenging situation. However, we need to learn to hold ourselves together. We need to learn to handle ourselves well, and that's why uh, this initiative to go live and talk to some of my students and friends and relatives too. Hope you have benefited. The countdown begins. I will be soon stopping the live videos. And of course, my once in a week live will continue as I have many more projects coming up. But the videos that I have put up on YouTube and on my Facebook page, that is Atman, that will help a lot of people. I have tried and covered most of the stories that you could be going through. You don't have to watch all these videos in constant serial. You can watch one at a time, whatever is relevant to you. And in the end of every video, I have given some of those healing statements. And as you recite these healing statements, you will find a positive shift in you. And if you like them, keep listening to them time and again as and when needed or as many times as you need. It's open for everyone. If you wish, you can also share and let many more people benefit out of them. Looking forward to get your feedbacks, and that always encourages and also gives me direction and helps me to understand how I can uh, distribute this knowledge in a better way. How can I contribute to your life and your healings? And as much as I understand, I have been humbly able to add whatever value I can in my own capacity. And yet I'm always open to improve and do better and better. Thank you so much for being regular listeners. I see a lot of you coming regularly and listening to you. And some of the feedbacks have really encouraged me to carry on and go on every day at 6 p.m. And in fact, I almost look forward to 6 p.m. There's going to be a little void once I stop that. Yet, I think everything that begins comes to some sort of end. This is not an end, this is just a pause. And I will again continue with my regular Thursday shows. So stay tuned and keep listening. Today's topic is from being loser to being an achiever. And that's something which can be relevant to your professional life, that can be relevant to your personal life, that can be relevant to your spiritual life. We do come across some moments where you feel like a loser at times. And at times you almost feel that, oh my God, you've lost almost everything, though you haven't. Right. But when you lose something that is very dear to you, it could be your job, it could be finances, it could be your home, it could be your loved one, it could be an opportunity, it could be uh, an opportunity to have success. Not always you get what you thought you should be getting, not always you retain what you always wanted to retain, and not always everything goes as you thought it should. So when it doesn't go the way you think, when it doesn't happen the way you think, you often find yourself a loser. And that's a label you give it to yourself more than anyone else. Others start giving you that label after you have given this label to yourself, isn't it? Now, it's just a matter of what side of the coin that you want to see. You know, they say everyone is successful. It's a different story that some people are successful at being unsuccessful. Same way, everyone gains something or the other. Nobody is a loser. Everybody is a winner. Everybody are the winner. And some people win the battle of proving that they are the losers. Please don't play such detrimental games with yourself. As much as you lose, there's so much that you gain. It's up to you what you want to see. When you lose almost everything, including hope, you gain courage, you gain strength, you gain sympathy, you gain so much of support sometimes. When there is nothing, at least you have gained an experience of being a loser. Now, what do you want to look at? The loss or the gain? Based on what you want to look at, you will prove yourself to be a loser or an achiever. Now, this sounds very logical. This sounds very made believe thing. This sounds kind of more of a consolation prize that, because you've lost it, now you look at things. The story begins when you start looking at your losses more than what you've gained. Okay. Why do you really do that? Because there is an association of loss with a tremendous personal and spiritual growth. The first time you lost something, you got inspired to make sure that you don't lose it again. And for you not to lose it again, you have worked very hard and you have done so well in your life to make sure that you never lose again. However, there's such a deep association of losses with growth that you eventually land up again losing something just to get inspired to continue growing further in life. And for a lot of people, this is the cycle. They keep doing this again and again and again. So people lose, then they grow, and then they want to grow further because there is an association of growth with the loss. They eventually lose something and then again they grow. Some people grow spiritually, some people grow academically, some people grow professionally, some people grow financially. But every loss wakes you up to be a winner. Now, that winner, the achiever, is there in you. However, we are subconsciously programmed to be an achiever and winner at the end of a loss. Why would you want to do that? Can't we simply keep going from one victory to another? Now, I'm not saying victory is always like being number one in the class. Victory can be anything. Victory can be as simple as victory over being able to, digest, victory over your language, victory over your words, victory over your expressions, victory over your time management, victory over your finance management. There can be so many things that you can win over. Do you really look at that ever? Well, there's so many times you have won. There's so many times you have achieved. A classical example, like taking one deep breath, you have achieved. You've gained so much of oxygen, and you don't even realize till the time you're oxygen deprived, isn't it? We don't value all that because we get it so easily and so freely. We only value that which is difficult to get and which is very rare. And then if you lose that, then you only focus on that. And what you don't really focus on is what you have already achieved and what you're going to achieve even after a loss. So again, it's like the glass. Is it half full or half empty? Where do you want to look at it? Is it like think positive story? No, it's not just about think positive. You energize what you think about. So if you keep thinking about your losses, which I know a lot of people do, they keep brooding over the loss of the loved ones or loss of finances or loss of properties or loss of court cases. Their constant thought is about the losses that they have come across, and that's what they talk, that's what they think about, that's what they brood, and they keep energizing that. Loss becomes a habit, and that's how you prove yourself to be a loser. Do you want to really do that? How about counting your gains, counting the benefits, counting the amazing opportunities or the possibilities that you have generated even after a loss? It's not about just kind of giving a pep talk to yourself. No, it's about creating a habit of being optimistic and focusing on what you have retained and what you have gained. A lot of time when you've lost, you don't even realize what you have retained. And when you don't value what you have retained, you even lose that eventually. So it's a time to make up your mind. It's a time to intend that you're going to focus on what you have retained, and what possibilities you have generated, even though you have lost, because gain and loss are the part of life. Being loser or being victorious, both are parts of the life. They're like two sides of the coin. It's up to you which side you want to face. When you gain neutrality and when you start evolving spiritually, when your awareness grows, you go beyond this losing and winning story. You go beyond this gain and pain. You go beyond all the stories. It doesn't matter what comes, goes. Everything is trivial. But till then, for normal people like us, maybe a loss is important or a gain is important. We do attach a lot of value to it. It's time to decide what is it that you want to energize with your thoughts, because trust, your thoughts are very, very powerful. What you focus on is going to get energized. I leave it to you to answer this question. What is it that you want to focus on? Loss or the gain? What you have lost or what you have retained? The choice is totally yours. I'm going to give you some remedial solutions for this now. And I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in the positive possibilities and breathe out the pains of losses. Continue breathing in the positive possibilities and breathe out the pains of losses. Continue breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Breathe in and breathe out and let yourself be centered and much calmer. Now, recite after me. I'm going to go a little slow so that you can recite after me. I revive the loser in me. I recognize the loser in me. I realign the loser in me. I reorient the loser in me. I reposition the loser in me. I revive the loser in me. I recognize the loser in me. I realign the loser in me. I reorient the loser in me. I reposition the loser in me. I revive my need to focus on my losses. I recognize my need to focus on my losses. I realign my need to focus on my losses. I reorient my need to focus on my losses. I reposition my need to focus on my losses. I revive my resistance to let go of my focus on my losses. I recognize my resistance to let go of the focus on my losses. I realign my resistance to let go of the focus on my losses. I reorient my resistance to let go of the focus on my losses. I reposition my resistance to let go of the focus on my losses. I revive my adverse associations with losses. I recognize my adverse associations with losses. I realign my adverse associations with losses. I reorient my adverse associations with the losses. I reposition my adverse associations with the losses. I revive my adverse associations with the losses. I recognize my adverse associations with the losses. I realign my adverse associations with the losses. I reorient my adverse associations with the losses. I reposition my adverse associations with the losses. I revive my adverse associations with the losses. I recognize my adverse associations with the losses. I realign my adverse associations with the losses. I reorient my adverse associations with the losses. I reposition my adverse associations with the losses. I revive my resistance to let go of the adverse associations. I recognize my resistance to let go of the adverse associations. I realign my resistance to let go of the adverse associations. I reorient my resistance to let go of the adverse association. I revive my need to focus on my gains. I recognize my need to focus on my gains. I realign my need to focus on my gains. I reorient my need to focus on my gains. I reorient my need to focus on my gains. I reposition my need to focus on my gains. I revive all my achievements. I recognize all my achievements. I realign all my achievements. I reorient all my achievements. I reposition all my achievements. I revive my need to focus on my achievements. I recognize my need to focus on my achievements. I realign my need to focus on my achievements. I reposition my need to focus on my achievements. I revive my resistance to focus on my achievements. I recognize my resistance to focus on my achievements. I realign my resistance to focus on my achievements. I reposition my resistance to focus on my achievements. I revive my need to energize my achievements. I recognize my need to energize my achievements. I realign my need to energize my achievements. I reorient my need to energize my achievements. I reposition my need to energize my achievements. I revive the achiever in me. I recognize the achiever in me. I realign the achiever in me. I reorient the achiever in me. I reposition the achiever in me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep listening and stay tuned. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Bye bye.